Okay, so this is a Bentley Continental GT Speed and it's sitting on my drive. Hang on, let's start this up. We're in park, we're in Bentley mode, which means it's in kind of, because this is it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid Bentley, but if I put it into sport, do I press that? No, I do that and that. No, do you do it again? No. The guy did explain this. What a great start. Oh, there you go, the dial, that would help. There we go, that started now. As you can tell, this isn't going to be a regular standard review of the Bentley Continental Speed. I'm a little bit overwhelmed, to be honest. This is my first experience of driving a Bentley ever. I'll never own one of these. I think most people won't own this particular car. This is the first edition, it's very expensive. It's got a very, very expensive, once again, bunch of options attached to it. I will reveal all of those things at the end of this video. So what I thought I'd do, rather than do a regular review, because all of the reviews of this particular car are out there already, let's do a kind of vlog style, day-by-day account of what it's like to drive around in one of these cars as a normal bloke. I am a normal bloke. I'm from Northampton. Firstly, because I'm a dad, the very first thing I did with this car, which is really embarrassing, I think, is I installed the child seat. So it's got Isofix. The only slight downside is the fact that you really have to push this passenger seat forward to ensure that the seat is nice and secure. So the person sitting there doesn't have a huge amount of legroom. But, you know, I think I've proven already immediately that this is a very practical car. Oh guys, this is an experience. I have driven it already, so the guy who dropped this off, I offered to take him to the train station so he could get home. Even just that short journey was an absolute adventure, a real event. Anyway, I'm going to the gym now and let's see how I get on. I won't reveal the specs until later, well, at the end of the video, because I don't want that to get in the way. I don't want to talk about what the engine is and all that stuff, because I think that will take away just the joy of driving this thing. But it's got this lovely, beautiful low rumble. You probably can't hear it. Maybe you can on this mic. It's really refined, but very meaty and purposeful and like nothing I've ever heard before. It's just a beautiful noise. It kind of goes, so I'm now doing, what, just over 2,000 revs, and by that point it becomes a burble. It becomes that classic Bentley kind of burbling sound. Now, bearing in mind this is the Speed, it's the sporty version, it's a very comfortable ride immediately. That's one of the first things I noticed about this car. It's a very, very comfortable ride. But equally, there's a bit of stiffness there. There's a bit of, oh, that noise. Oh! The other thing that I noticed straight away is that there are so many touches in here that remind you that you're in a very, very special car. So for instance, on the rev counter we have hand built in England, and on the Speedo we have Bentley motors established in 1919. So it's got all that stuff. It is a digital display. These aren't, it is digital, yeah, it is digital, as it would be in 2025, obviously. But it's still got that Bentley class about it. And that is just everywhere, really. The clock, the Bentley clock, again, established in 1919, reminding you of that. The great big Bentley button on top of the drive selector, the Speed logo over there. The other thing that I'm very, very conscious of is that it's very, very expensive. It makes you think about a few things. It makes you think, firstly, about knocking it or, you know, having any kind of altercation on the road, which is something you never want to do anyway, but equally you really don't want to do it in this car. The other thing is, where do you leave it? You know, where do you park it? If I take it into town, which I will do, where do you park it? Do you worry about where you park it? Is it a target? All these sort of things are going through my head, but I guess that is because I've never driven a car like this before. I've never driven a car as expensive as this before. I've driven some very nice cars, but nothing as expensive as this. I was not expecting that. We're in sport mode. I was expecting a gradual but big kind of wedge of torque to come in then, but there was a bit of lag between me putting my foot down and it going, but it arrived very quickly, very quickly. Whew. Whew. Oh. Excuse me, that was half exhaling, half cough. Wow, I drove and reviewed the Porsche Macan Turbo recently, which was the fastest thing I've ever driven, ever in my entire life. However, it's an EV. Now this is a hybrid as well, but it's got a proper engine in it. But that Macan was just pure EV and pure relentless computer game-like speed. I think I have said this in previous videos that it's easy to get a little bit addicted to EV speed and power delivery. If you are traditionally a petrol proper engine person, like I've always been that, you do quickly forget what it's like because I drive a lot of EVs, so it's easy to forget what this experience is like. And to have a proper petrol engine like this, with that sound and with that power delivery, which, like I said, there's definitely a bit of lag to begin with, but as soon as that's gone, we're talking seconds here, as soon as that has gone, you're off. I might say this a few times as well, this is a window into a completely different world. It's a world that I don't occupy, I will never occupy, very, very unlikely, unless something very fortunate happens. You might be the same, you know, and you may have had these experiences. You may have flown business class before. I've flown business class. I've been very lucky and fortunate enough to have done that. Never flown first class, but business class is just, again, it's a window into another world. Okay, that's the gym done, but just look at this thing. Imagine if that was your car. This is one of those reviews where you walk up to the press car and just think, people own these things. They don't walk up to it thinking, I've got to give that back in 4 or 5 days. They actually own it. I'm so lucky with the weather as well. It's absolutely beautiful today. I've also had a fantastic idea, I think, for this video, which I need to ask some people's permission for. I want to go get some food. I want to go and park this in Leamington town centre and just see if people notice it, if people care. Let's see what happens. Now, my next test is not showing off, I promise, but I want to see if there's any kind of reaction when you leave it on the side of the road in a town centre. A caveat to this is the fact that I live in Leamington, which is a very nice part of the country. There are some very nice cars around here, a few Bentleys scattered around, so it's not unusual to see a car like this around here, but I've never been the person driving it. If you've spent this much money on a car, surely you want people to notice it a little bit, even if you don't admit that. Right, can I park here? Yeah, this is perfect. Rear parking camera, obviously. Case in point, I'm parking next to a Porsche. I'm not just going to sit here, by the way. I'm going to go and get something to eat, and then we'll walk back down the road and see if people are looking at it, stopping, taking photos. They might do, they may not, who knows. Okay, there she is, all parked up next to a Porsche. But yeah, let's go and get something to eat and then come back and see, well, firstly see if it's still there. It will still be there. Okay, coffee done, but it's still there. Because of course it is. Why would anyone nick it? Plus, how would they nick it? I've done a lot of vlogging in public. I've got to the point now where I'm not really bothered about it, but for some reason, I feel a bit self-conscious doing it linked to that car. I feel a bit self-conscious about this car anyway, but let's come up to it now. I think what it is the fact that I'm clearly filming myself talking about this car, and it's a very, very distinctive car. I feel really self-conscious. Hang on. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe I'm just being a little bit over the top about this. Maybe it's because I've never driven a car like this before. I don't know, but I just felt very self-conscious then. I think I built it up into something that it wasn't. I almost want to say to people, this isn't mine. Not because it's a terrible car. It's a beautiful car. It's more, don't look at me kind of thing. I mean, I'm a YouTuber, but like so many guys and girls on YouTube, I'm quite shy. I always have been. All these things go through my head. Like, what are they thinking? Are they thinking, who is that guy? What does he do for a living? If you're sitting there now thinking, what an idiot, I think you would feel the same if you had this. I've just had another moment in the Bentley. There's a button over here that says screen. I thought, oh, what does that do? Pressed it, and the entire screen, the infotainment system disappears. The whole thing kind of turns around and we get, what do we get? We get outside air temperature, compass, brilliant, and a stopwatch, even more brilliant. That completely changes the inside of this car, which is the interior. It makes it completely different. It makes it even more, somehow, even more upmarket, even more exciting, even more Bentley, even more I want to sit in this thing for the rest of today and not go into my house. It just struck me that I've been driving around in sport mode all day because of that sound, but we do have other modes here. So for instance, we have Bentley mode, which basically throws it into EV. It's now an EV. So the engine's not running. I'm now really wafting along in an electric Bentley. The range obviously isn't fantastic given that this is a hybrid. It's got about 47 miles in now and I think it's nearly fully charged at that. So the point of this car isn't to drive around in EV mode, obviously. There's also comfort mode. Comfort mode will obviously make things less sporty as well, so the ride will change. It does feel a bit different actually. It feels a little bit more comfortable, obviously. The steering has definitely changed. It's not quite as sharp as it was before. In my humble opinion, just leave it in sport. This is where this car feels at home on these back roads. Wafting, I keep saying wafting. Driving it just waft, who cares? When you're going through villages, normally after a village there's a road which is quiet and national speed limit, and I know this road very well. So once we come round this corner, it goes around corners beautifully as well. Stop saying beautifully. It really does do everything beautifully though. I'm going to accelerate from a standing start to the national speed limit and just experience it. Brakes, oh wow, okay, right, ready? 3, 2, 1. The problem with this country, I am moaning, but I'm not kind of saying it should be any different. The speed limits we have here prevent you from fully testing cars like this on the road. You've got to take them to a track to do that. Bentley, if you're watching this, I assume you will be watching it because you've lent me the car. Can I have a track day, please? That would be amazing. It was kind of explosive, but again, in a refined, upmarket kind of way. I might as well talk about some of the specs. It's a twin turbo V8. That is what we can hear, or that's what I can hear. You may not be able to hear it. I will try and capture some exhaust sound from the back just so you can hear it now. It's your mate who's got a lot of money. He's had a few beers, and it's got to the point of the night where he's not getting leery. He'd never get leery, he'd never punch anyone. He just starts talking loudly and he becomes the centre of the room. And you quite like him. He's a bit loud and a bit obnoxious, but you love him. That's what this car is when you put your foot down. Right, now we are in the back roads. I can give this a bit more welly. See what it's like to go around corners. It's so planted, this thing. It feels alive though, it doesn't feel too restricted or too pegged back at all. I've got traction control on, obviously, but it just feels very, very settled. I'm getting lots and lots of feedback from the steering. Oh, I can overtake very easily. That was so easy. Right, let's give this car another look. The side profile of this car is just picture perfect. The lines. It's the sort of car that you wish you could draw as a kid. It's got that beautiful sloping roof. It's just a lovely, lovely thing. These wheels are huge. I think they're 22 inches. Massive things, absolutely massive. P0s. We have carbon ceramic brakes. A very expensive option, which I'll reveal the price of later, but you can see there, carbon ceramics. Huge, the biggest calipers I've ever seen in my entire life. And you can probably hear that exhaust. But again, that side profile, I think, is what this car's all about. From the front, again, these lovely kind of diamondy headlights. A seriously meaningful grille. Look at that. Cameras, we've got a camera here. I'm not sure what that is. That may be some kind of camera, but that's definitely a camera there. Very low. You can see how low it is to the ground. Am I getting very boring in this video saying how lovely and beautiful it is? You know what, I don't care. If you're still watching this video, it's because you love cars as much as I do. First edition. So this is a first edition version of the Continental GT Speed. We get that reminder here as well. This lights up, by the way, this Bentley logo, which is lovely. When you enter this car as well, look, you just look at this. you do feel special. You feel like you've made it. I haven't, but I feel like I've made it. Right, Harrison, I've got a very posh car to show you. Can you guess which one it is?
This one.
Not that one, definitely not that one. The Audi, it's not the Audi.
Over there.
Is that it there?
Yeah.
Look at that. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I do like it.
You like it? What do you think?
Lovely.
Lovely? You think it's lovely?
Hey, let's go.
Be careful with the paint.
What is it?
It's a Bentley. Got your seat in there, look. You see? What's your review of the Bentley Continental GT Speed? Lovely. It's got the tick box from my son. Okay, I've slept on it and I've come to the conclusion that I'm falling in love with this car, and it's happening quite quickly, and that's worrying because it has to go back on Tuesday. It's now Friday and I'm just counting down the days. You know when you're on holiday and it's getting towards the end, you don't really want it to end because you're having a lovely time with your family. It's all very surreal, but in a lovely way. This is the experience I'm having with this car. I know the end is coming. Still got it for 4 days, which is lovely. Very privileged to have that, but I'm doing that classic pessimistic, possibly British thing of just counting down the hours basically until I have to give it back. I've thought a lot about what I love the most about this car, and there's a lot of things obviously, but there's one thing in particular which I just keep coming back to, which is that noise, that exhaust noise. It's not so much the engine, to be fair, it is the exhaust. When you first start the car, it kind of rumbles into life. My son said it sounds like thunder on the way home from nursery yesterday. Let's just take a moment to appreciate it. It's the sort of exhaust burble that you'll never get tired of. It does make you wonder who would buy this car under the pretense that it's a kind of it can be an EV if it needs to be. I guess if you live in, let's say, central London, and you might do a fair bit of driving through London, in which case 50 miles of EV range could be quite useful actually. It means you're not chewing through petrol too much. Lovely little chicane here. How many days left? 4. Here we go. I appreciate this is a very indulgent video for Bentley. I'm just filming what I feel like filming, and most of the time I feel like filming what this car looks like. Can't stop turning to look at it wherever I've parked it. I also like this angle here. I'm off to Oxford now. I've got a meeting in Oxford with someone.
Please follow the A46 for 3 miles.
I was about to say, this is a perfect excuse to try out the sat-nav, and the first thing I've noticed is that the lady who delivers the driving directions is incredibly posh, incredibly well-spoken, as you would expect in a Bentley Continental GT Speed. So this is my first proper piece of motorway driving in this car, and despite the fact this is the GT Speed, it's the sporty version, the one with the grumbly, naughty exhaust, it's so comfortable. You could do a lot of miles in this. The seat is unbelievably comfortable, obviously heated and ventilated, but it's so quiet as well. They're very big wheels, remember, 22-inch I think. You can barely hear any tyre noise at all. No wind noise, nothing. I want to talk about the seating position as well, because again, if you haven't driven a Bentley, and I've sat in a Bentley before, I've never driven one, and I remember this feeling of being very sort of low down, hunkered down, but having everything at your disposal perfectly. The steering wheel position, the dash, the screen over here, and most importantly, and I think most noticeably, is the center console. So your arm kind of sits there perfectly on the armrest, and within perfect grasp you've got the drive selector, absolutely perfectly placed. You don't have to move your arm. I think that's what it is. It's all about convenience with a Bentley. You don't want to be troubled with having to move your arm down here too much, or up or over there or whatever. You just want to, as you're wafting down the road, you just want to be able to go put your hand there. So I've just figured out how to use the screen behind the steering wheel, and as a result I've also discovered the MPG this car is doing at the moment, which actually isn't that bad. It's averaging about 21 MPG at the moment. It will be interesting to see what it does on a longer run, which I'll be doing in a couple of days' time. Okay, what have we got around here? Anywhere I can safely park? What's a ZES zone? Oh, zero emission. No, I don't want to go to the zero emission zone, do I? Please say I can go down here. Everyone's looking at the car. Everyone's looking at it. What have I done? Oh no, I've really screwed up here. This is terrible. This is a terrible, terrible thing. It's also very, very, very embarrassing. People are just desperate to get run over. Okay, fine. That was slightly embarrassing. Okay, let's try the turning circle in this car. Wow, that's impressive. So tight. Don't like this. Why do they make car park entrances so tight? We're in. I think I'm kind of going the wrong way. There's another Bentley there. Very, very tight car park. Not convinced it's going to fit in here, but we'll give it a go. Everyone's watching. Okay, we're kind of fitting in here. Slight problem. I can't get out. Okay, so that car park was a complete no-go. This one is further away, but hopefully it works. Okay, the car is parked. This feels okay around here. I mean, that is just an example of what these cars are like to live with, because I didn't want to park it in that space back there. It was, one, it was way too small. Two, it was just embarrassing trying to park it. Right, a few things to report. Firstly, the traffic in Oxford on Friday afternoon is hideous. Oh, the second thing, I just drove past another Bentley. Didn't spot what it was, it came past fairly quickly. And the guy did the whole, there was a Bentley nod, an exchange of, you know, all right mate, here we go. It squirms a little bit, just a little bit. I've still got traction control on. Obviously, I will not be turning that off. But yeah, there's definitely a little bit of squirming, completely controllable. No, you know, trouser wetting moments whatsoever. It's just a little bit naughty.
Daddy's coming. Right, in we go. Are you struggling? Bless him, he's done.
Sit forward, sit forward.
It's got a lot of buttons on the side of the seat. I want to open one, it's not an ejector button.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going higher when I'm going up. God, the seat adjustment on this is brilliant, Mark.
What have you done to this seat? Let's put it into sport, ready?
Wow.
Are you right in the back, Mum, with your...
Yeah, I am, but I say I'm little.
I think I've gone too high.
We haven't mastered the seats, have we, in this
Yes,
car?
you do look a bit high, John.
What do you think about the interior?
Super. I mean, this is
Lovely.
This is a real car, isn't it?
Lovely grey.
Put it into B mode, it turns it into an EV. It's an EV now, so the engine's gone off.
Sorry, B mode.
Oh,
Bentley
EV.
mode.
Oh,
So
right,
the engine's
okay.
stopped now.
Now we're saving the planet,
Stop.
guys.
Just doing EV, it's just doing electric. So it's just running,
Oh,
running
it's
off the battery.
it's a hybrid then.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But it's plug-in hybrid as well, so you can plug it in if you need to.
Oh God, scary, isn't it? Oh my God! Oh, Jesus. I felt
It gets to 60 really quickly,
I
doesn't
felt my heart go
I
to
had my
back.
breakfast quite a while ago. Might have come back up.
I don't know if I've ever experienced that ever. Oh, God,
like
it makes
that.
me feel weird.
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know if I like it. Oh, dear. It's very strange, isn't it?
So I said earlier in this video that I had an idea about what to do with the rest of this video, and that was it. It was a case of getting my parents, who just happened to be visiting this weekend, into this car and filming their reaction, and showing you just how tricky it is to get a child into a child seat in a Bentley Continental GT Speed. It's a real faff. It's the one thing about this car that I don't like, but that's a ludicrous thing not to like about it. But just bear in mind, if you're gonna buy this car, put a car seat, a child seat in the back like I have, getting your kid into the seat is quite stressful. I would like to show you around this interior, so let me find somewhere to park and I'll bring you properly inside here. Right, okay, let's start by doing the walking up experience. Let's pretend this is your car. So firstly, you get this lovely chunky key fob with a great big B on it, just to remind you that you're very, very important and very lucky to have this sort of car. Then we walk up to it. It's so purposeful. It really is. Immediately, it's an event. But we walk up to it. We can open it with the key fob, but it is keyless entry, so it unlocks. Oh, and by the way, it has soft close doors as well. So if I don't shut it quite properly like this, it pulls the door in shut. Amazing. Anyway, we get in. I think, as I mentioned earlier, Bentley, that is all illuminated. First edition plate there. First edition stitching here as well. But we get in. The air conditioning is going already, just to make sure that the cabin is sufficiently cooled for me, because I expect that. Steering wheel, lovely, really nice. It's not too big. It's got obviously got the big lovely Bentley logo there, and this one is fabric, which feels beautiful. Heated, obviously. There are certain things that I don't need to say. It has all that stuff. Don't worry about it. All of the switches, all of the dials and things are absolute perfection. They feel expensive. They look expensive. They're just lovely to use. Then we have the center console here, which, as I was explaining earlier in the video, is just perfectly located for your arm. So you don't have to do anything. Your arm is just perfectly in charge. Bentley established 1919. Then, if we start it with this starter button there, screen appears, everything comes on. However, we know that we can do this instead to get the lovely old-fashioned Bentley dials. This is where we have all of the drive selects. So by default, it always starts on Bentley mode, which is kind of the E mode. So it says on here, EV drive ready. But if you buy this car, this is the first thing you'll do once you've started it. You'll switch this to sport. That's where you get the rumble of the engine. And the rest of the dash is just utterly gorgeous. I'm not sure what this is, but again, it feels expensive. It looks very expensive. It's got the same stuff on the door cards as well, the same design. We have this kind of textured thing here, which is absolutely lovely. The stitching was an option on this one, so that it's all around it actually, all across the dash. We have this kind of, it's like two-tone stitching, if I can show you. So this is red stitching to match the red trim here, and this is grey or whatever colour it is, stitching to match the trim on this side. And these heating controls, which are obviously very traditionally Bentley, you pull them out like that, and as you pull them out, more air comes out, and as you push them in, the air disappears. So you can very finely tune how much air you're getting. We've got the controls for the climate control here as well, heated and ventilated seats, buttons everywhere. All these buttons here, you can do pretty much everything to the car from this console here. It's how a car should be. You know, it's not just one screen with everything in it. It's just perfect. And then in the rear, if I pull this lever here, the seat automatically moves forward, and it's not the most elegant way of getting into a car, to be honest, but my mum managed it, as you saw earlier, and she didn't have a problem with it. The headroom, so my mum was saying that if you were 6 foot whatever, you might be struggling. I'm not. I'm 5'8", 5'9", and it's not far off being a little bit too low here. So if you were a particularly tall person, you might struggle, I don't know, but to be honest, I don't think you'd be complaining, because it's such a comfy seat. And it's a 2x2 thing, so we don't have any middle seat here. It's just a seat here, seat there, occupied by my son's car seat, as you can see. We do have cup holders here. You can't get into the boot, but then I wouldn't really expect to be able to do that, to be honest. The boot, let's look at the boot size. That could be important for your golf clubs, and yeah, not the easiest car to get out of. Okay, so we press the B, and here's a window into my life. So we have camera gear, we have some Bentley stuff there, I'm not sure what that is. We have my son's backpack. He would fit, I think, a pair of golf clubs from there to there. I think that is what this bit here is for, because I would guess that a lot of people who are going to buy this car will play golf. Right, let's close it. I've got to do some filming now. I'm not going to bore you with that, so we'll probably cut to the next day when I'll be doing some more interesting stuff. Sad times. This is my last day with the Bentley Continental GT Speed. The end of the holiday romance. She's got to go back, and I can't go with her. This is the last day that we're together. What can we do together? And I thought, let's go to Brooklands, because Brooklands is the spiritual home of the motorsport element of Bentley. I've filled up the car with 80 quid's worth of petrol, which isn't very much in the UK. That has given me about 300 miles in the tank. I've also got 36 miles of EV range as well, and I'm going to leave. Basically, I'm not going to put. I will not put it in sport. I will put it in sport at some point, but for most of the way, which is dual carriages and motorways and that sort of stuff, I'm going to keep it in the B, the Bentley mode. Right, we're on the motorway now, and what's interesting is that the engine still hasn't kicked in. Now, I've driven quite a few hybrids where the engine kicks in straight away. As soon as you get to 30 miles an hour, bang, the engine's there. This hasn't done that yet. So clearly, it's very happy just to cruise along at, like I say, 50-ish miles an hour on battery, completely silent. This is where this car has such a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. Okay, the engine has kicked in now. 27 miles left in the battery, still doing 70. I guess it just felt like coming on because it was like, well, mate, come on. I'm not really an EV. I'm still a Bentley Continental GT Speed with a twin-turbo V8 under the bonnet. It kicked down then, didn't it? I've just looked at the MPG, and it's the highest number I've ever seen in this car. Bearing in mind, at the weekend, it was doing 8 miles to the gallon round town. It's currently doing 44, over 44 miles to the gallon. Okay, coffee secured. Let's look at the specs very quickly and then reveal the price. Right, so we have a 4-litre twin-turbo V8, which I've talked about quite a bit, and a 140 kilowatt electric motor. It's got 771 brake horsepower, 1,000 newton meters of torque, which is about 738 pounds per foot, whatever. It's a lot of torque. Oh, hang on. So those power figures I gave you a moment ago are the combined power figures with the engine and the electric motor. So the engine only is, it's still 591 horsepower, which is still a lot of horsepowers, and 800 newton meters of torque. So the addition of the battery and the motors that are driven by the battery is quite a lot, isn't it? You go from 591 horsepower to 771 and 800 newton meters of torque to 1,000 newton meters of torque just by having the electric motors in this car as well. The boot volume is 260 litres. You don't care about any of that stuff. What you care about is the price. Okay, so this press car has a whole wealth of extras on it, which you would expect. It has the first edition specification, which gives you a touring pack. It gives you the front seat comfort specification, which is when it moves back and does all that sort of stuff. It's got the NAIM, however you pronounce it, audio system, the Bentley rotating display, so that display that kind of flips up and down like that, that is part of the first edition spec. It has all of the stitching, the first edition stitching. It's got the animated LED welcome lamps, which are the ones that shine on the floor, the mood lighting, the garage door opener. That must be what these are. So yeah, okay, so these are in the armrest. I couldn't work out what they are, but they must be garage door openers, which is weird because how do they know what garage door I've got? It's got deep pile overmats, which are these very comfortable mats down here. The price of just that first edition spec thing is £30,495 on top of the price of the car. We also have carbon ceramic brakes with black painted calipers. They were a £14,115 addition. The paintwork on this, which is Mulliner Range Solid, it's metallic obviously, was £9,085. Those 22-inch 10 swept spoke wheels, which are beautiful, were 3,300 quid. The contrast stitching, which goes along here where we have red there, I talked about it earlier, that was 2,945 quid. Just the stitching. The entire price of this particular car is £236,600, which is loads of money. Anyway, time to have a coffee, eat a naughty snack and get to Brooklands, and it's just started raining. Great. Right, getting very close to Brooklands Museum now. Also, Mercedes World is round here. Perhaps I should take this car to Mercedes World. Would that be funny? No, not really. Ooh, there's a racetrack. Oh, I'd love to take this car on that. There's a skid pan. You can take your car skidding. I do feel a bit like a Bentley person who's come to Brooklands in his Bentley, just to show off a bit. Kinda true. What I'll do is go to the museum because I've driven down here, then get back into the car and give you my conclusion about this experience. Okay, the time has come to sum up how I feel about this car. I think this is the perfect car. In fairness, I've not driven any of the competitors to this car, so I can't comment on them at all, but I don't know how you could improve on this. It has everything. It has the speed. It has the economy as well. It's still doing 38 miles to the gallon. It has that unbelievable desirability factor. It's also, and I've never said this about a car before, perfect from every angle. I think this is the only car I've ever seen, particularly in person, that doesn't have a bad angle. Most cars have got one element of the way they look where you just think, oh, why did they do that? This car looks stunning no matter which part of it you're looking at or what angle you're looking at, what the weather's doing. And the key test with this stuff is how many times you turn around to look at it when you've parked it. Every time I've parked it, I've turned to look at it again and again and again. I look back at it, I reckon 7 or 8 times. And this colour, it's lovely by the way, but you know, it's not like a yellow Lamborghini or a, you know, I don't know what else, bright purple. It's not, it doesn't really stand out on the road. So the fact that people still stop and stare at this car and whisper to their mates as it drives past, or as you get out they kind of murmur and say things to their friends, is a testament to how good this car looks. It doesn't need a really over-the-top paint job to stand out. The best way I can describe what these last 5 days have been like is they've been completely surreal. I've shared it with friends and family, you know, people who have suddenly turned up and wanted to have a ride in the Bentley. I've shared it with my girlfriend's dad, who's a massive Bentley fan. He was just, I mean, it was his birthday yesterday. I gave him a ride in it and he was just over the moon. Made his day, made possibly part of his life, I think, in terms of just experiencing this. My son said goodbye to it this morning. It's had a real impact on me over the last 5 days, which isn't long, it's less than a week, but it's really got under my skin. I'd be lying if I didn't say that there's been a bit of me that's enjoyed the attention. I know I said earlier that I don't like attention particularly, even though I'm a YouTuber, but I'd be completely lying if I didn't admit that I've enjoyed some of it. I feel like a bit of a superstar, which is a weird, and also because I'm not, and because I don't have to live like a superstar and have all the bad things, all the trappings that come with that. It's just nice to have that for 5 days, I'll be totally honest. It's been quite nice. It's given me a North Star. I've got one of those already. That's my son and my family. It's my son, my girlfriend, and making sure we all have a lovely life going forward, and that my son has an amazing life when I'm gone. My other North Star now is getting to a point in life where I'm successful enough, where I've worked hard enough, and this business has been successful enough where I could actually afford one of these. That sounds very materialistic, but again, if you're a car person, you'll know what I mean by this. You've probably got a car. In fact, let me know down below what your North Star car is in terms of the thing that you're aspiring for. Mine's always been a 911. It still is to a degree, but now I've driven this, I want to get to the stage where I can buy one of these. I'm not that far from home now, and tomorrow a lovely guy from Bentley will come back to my house, pick up the car, take it away, and then it'll be someone else's turn to enjoy this. Maybe we'll meet again. Maybe not you, maybe not this particular one, but maybe I will cross paths with a Bentley Continental GT Speed at some point in the future. That just leaves me to say, guys, thank you so much if you've got this far and watched the entire video. That happens very rarely on YouTube. Most people dip out after 4 or 5 minutes. So if you've stayed for this entire video, thank you. Means the world. Hit subscribe if you haven't done already. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Get involved in the comments, tell your mates, and I'll see you next time in probably a much more normal, relatable car. I'm going to enjoy this last drive. Cheers, guys.